All right, we're gonna knock down these north end rows so Joe's got a chance to get the grain cart turned around and all that. This white dust is brutal. But maybe I'll be able to get a chance to see, kind of show how we open up fields. Paul's in the #1 spot right now. Did you hear, Joe, what do you do? Knock off a little bit of these ends here? All right, I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna do that. So we cut that for Joey. It's all about Joe here. It's all about Joe. This dust magnetizes to the windows. I'm gonna give you a little Marco Polo action too, see if that shows up. Wondering, is the stuff you're picking got this white dust that is sticking to the windows instantly? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's me making cornmeal. Yeah, the stuff that's blowing up in front of my head, I'm pretty sure it's because it's not a Case IH combine and it's too hard on the corn. Hey, I believe there is a roundabout down there at the other end they've got kind of made now. And then you probably saw it, but one thing I noticed coming in, there were some T-posts along there that used to have speed limit signs that does not have any speed limit signs on it now, so just a heads up. All right, we are getting ready here to go round and round and open up this field. Take the #1. We open up fields, planted with a 24 row. We make 2 passes around using the auto path from Boundaries. 120-foot headland. When we plant, we go counterclockwise. And when we harvest, we go clockwise with the 2 combines. We don't always have 2 combines. When we do, it makes opening up the fields way gooder. Much easier to open up a field that way. With the 2 machines. and the grain carts being able to continue to unload on the go and such. Harvesting some Wykoff hybrids, 2575. Excellent plant health. Standing great right now. Perfect. This is a field. It's been corn on corn for a long time. We strip tilled it this spring. We had tremendous challenges with residue this spring, and this field was no different. It got us all year long. So we were running Dawn strip till units, and man, did we struggle with those. The Gen 3 Pluribus, and they just do not have the clearance between the rows to allow residue to escape, and that was tough. So we didn't create very good strips, and then that resulted in some planter issues, and then we got frosted out here in early June. So we planted this late April, I think, first part of May, and the frost thinned our stand, and also, oh my, where is Don going? Thinned our stand, but then also just set back some plants, which was almost worse. So it just gave us all kinds of uneven growth. But then when we came out here to side dress it, we were side dressing. Joe runs our Yetter high speed, got the Magnum 10,000s. And in this is kind of some black muck, just real fluffy. The residue in that situation was no good. And so I came in with our old DMI bar, knife bar, and didn't have success either trying to side dress. I did the end rows and a couple passes and gave up, and we ended up top dressing it with urea, which unfortunately they did a really nice job of applying it, but we did not have a position on urea, as we did not expect to be using it, and it was probably 30 cents a pound more expensive versus the position we had on anhydrous. So that was a tough call, but the corn needs what the corn needs, and so we just did it. So we'll see if we made the right decision. I am concerned, not concerned. The frost is going to take off yield. We just don't know how much, whether it's 20 bushels or 40 bushels. But it definitely took the top end off. Took the top off the defense for all you Randy Moss fans out there.
My role is to take the ball deep, take the top off the defense.
My gosh, man, this dust. Just cleaned off my feeder house. It is getting close to getting time to bring back one of my favorite YouTube bits. It's going back about a decade. Snack Time with Jeremy was one of my favorite. The guy was in a case combine in central Illinois, picking 400 bushel corn all the time. And he would do this snack time. So as a tribute to Jeremy, we're going to be bringing back maybe Snack Time with Jason from time to time. I know it is a favorite of my daughter, Holly. She loves the Snack Time with Jason. So You got to give the people what they want. And it's usually about this time of the day. But we got one major problem. I have been avoiding packing any sort of snacks so that I don't eat them. But my lovely wife made me, got me a box of goldfish, which is the gold standard when it comes to snacks. And some Reese's caramel cups. I gave those to Joe to avoid the temptation. I'll be working on a snack time with Jason episode soon. Still opening up this field on Amazon. The traffic is light. We will probably try to go as long as the truck drivers say they're still good to go. Don and Rob and Mr. Jimmy's trucking tonight too.
We're on the go now, Joe.
There we go. Did I mention we had frost down here on all this ground? We're gonna see. It's gonna be interesting. I did replant a little bit. Was struggling with that, trying to figure out what to plant, what not to plant. And in the end, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna make a round just so we have some data to see. So that's gonna be it. That'll be fun to look at that data. Plant it about a month later, maybe 5 weeks later, about a 100-day number versus I think we got 108-day stuff out here now. I am normally, I would say almost never, a backwards hat guyer. Not a backwards hat guyer. However, at night, if I've got my bill here, it seems to, if I've got the hat facing forward, it seems to kind of block some of my view, and as I get older, it gets harder to see. And so we go with the backwards hat guyer look. Right now we're picking on some ditch banks, some high ground on the ditch banks that did not get frosted. So not the best kind of test with where it did get frosted, because it's usually a different type of soil, but about the only thing we got out here to see, like, how many bushels did it cost us, you know? Opening up a field with 2 combines almost makes the experience pleasant versus trying to open up a field with 1 and constantly having to cut in openings for the grain cart guy. Feels like I'm constantly backing over corn, running it over with snouts. 2 combines makes it pleasant, way more efficient. So again, we've been using JD Ops and AutoPath from Boundaries to lay out our fields. This is our 2nd year doing that, planting with that, and we just have been able to shift. We shift the AutoPath line over 15 inches in our corn on corn, and we have receivers on our planters, and it's magical. It just freaking works. We spent about, I would say, almost 10 years with off-brand GPS, Case, Fendt, Ag Leader, Trimble, with a mixed fleet of tractors, and trying to get those A-B lines back and forth to tractors and get planters on the strip till paths. Wore me out.
I don't think I'm gonna make it.
All right, I'll just pull in and cut yours a little bit to open it up for me.
10-4.
It wore me out trying to get planters on the line. We were constantly, while we were planting, having to shift, nudge, and then when we went switched over to Deere, jumped into AutoPath, laid out the AutoPath from boundaries for the fields, for the strip till machine, and then came back and planted on it, and it was just dead nuts on. Around curves, up and down, it was just freaking awesome. And it took off so much stress. It went from something that I obsessed about the entire planting season, and like I said, just wore me out, to something that we don't even think about now. We don't even think about it. We have AutoPath lines. The planters are on the strip. It's the way it's supposed to be. It's pretty awesome. Being able to lay a field out in the office and have those lines sent with the work order, so when a guy heads to a field, he doesn't have to mentally be thinking about how he's going to lay that field out, what end he wants to start on. It is already laid out. He just pulls in, accepts it, and starts going. Again, this episode brought to you by Diet Dusky. I just finished up some Code Red Diet Duskis that my nephew Hayden found on the interwebs. Pulled some strings to get them here. Normally we run 2 grain carts. Second grain cart we're doing a little maintenance on, or need to do a little maintenance on, changing a brass bushing at one of the augers. I don't know why I just did that. The auger where it folds on a J&M, and we're a little short-handed on drivers and grain cart operators. Now everybody pretty much can do everything. Our drivers are 3 retired guys that are amazing. We're very lucky to have them. They show up early, they work late, they're reliable, and they're pleasant to be around. We would not be able to do what we're doing without them. Unfortunately for them, they can never retire. They can never retire from retirement. We need at least another 15 years out of them. Yeah, that should get us to where we need to go. Tried a new chomp stick today. It is Italian style chomp stick, the mini. So the chomp stick's pretty awesome through the day. They're a little expensive, but if you only eat a couple of them, a couple, 2, 3 for the day, it's kind of worth the investment. So the other thing we did, we're running a Geringhoff, a 2008 Geringhoff North Star with some Devastators on it and Shred Select stock rolls. But we have been struggling with the top sprockets. They're the spline ones, stripping out, and we've been replacing them and trying to do all that. And finally we just said, screw it, we're gonna weld them. And I was talking to our case guy with our Geringhoff dealer, and he's like, oh yeah, that was pretty much what Geringhoff said to do early on when those start wearing out, just weld them. Well, we welded them. Welded the sprockets to the shafts. And let me tell you, the head works a lot better. A lot better. Wish we would have done that last year. Bought this head at an auction last year. This is the one on an earlier video. Joe was rebuilding the stalk rolls, all the bearings in the front nose. That was, what a science fair project, man. A lot of maintenance on this head, if you know what I mean. And you have to grease it every day. Not cool. Really, what we need to get to, for guys like me, we need to get to a combine that has about 5 grease circs that are once a year. Pre-season, grease them, run the season. That's what I'm looking for.
Your machine quit working again, Paul? No, I just wasn't going to cut across the rows. I was just going to let your guy get to the end so we can cut straight in.
I cut, this is my second cut here while we were waiting for you, Joe.
Not only is his auger longer, Joe, he's got a bigger tank.
Ah, yes, we found the junk corn. We've been dealing with a lot of fluff, cornhead fluff recently. And I've sped the head up a little bit. That seemed to help. Be a little more aggressive pulling stuff. Fortunately, been able to keep the deck plates a little bit close, just pulling it through and keeping head shelling to a minimum. Was talking to a guy today on the phone, my nephew Hayden, director of technology. We were looking for a way to monitor wet bin levels remotely, from the phone. We have indicators on the bins, and then we have red lights when they're full to alert the drivers. But sometimes at night those things get difficult to see, and we have to switch our distributor from our wet leg to our overhead. We use the overhead as additional wet storage capacity. But yesterday, when we got back from church, we were sitting around watching football, and he got on a website for a company called Bin Manager. Anyways, I was talking to that guy today, and they got a radar system that can give you up-to-date, bin levels. And so that would be, I have not seen how expensive it is, but to be able to pull up the phone and know, hey, we're at 70% or 80% on that wet bin would be valuable to be able to alert the drivers, hey, you're probably the last load going to the wet bin, or keep an eye on it. Start watching the light to see if that comes on. Just be able to help them so we don't get into a situation where we overfill a bin and plug the leg up and all that. So that's something we're looking into. But as you know, there's only so much capital to deploy, and there is a never-ending need of things that we could cherry up a little bit or make a little better. So we're trying to find those little investments that can improve efficiency and keep the machine moving forward as much as we can. And for the observant people, yes, I am steering this combine. It's unacceptable. I know, I do realize that. And we are looking forward to someday having the technology, or utilizing the John Deere technology of the auto load for the grain cart. Once we get both combines on the same platform. All right, now we are in definitely the areas where we top dressed, as opposed to side dressing ammonia. Well, I mean, I guess I could do my first little snack time with Jason. Salted peanuts. That's it, sorry. It's this and the chopsticks. This and the chopsticks. Basically, my diet do is my indulgence. I'm just gonna wait, because I'm gonna be full here in a minute. I'll have to wait for the next combine to take the pole position so I can unload into Joe. There we go. MFG taught me when you stop, you back up so you don't lay a wad of residue that we got to plant into next spring. So we back up, we get that residue spread. Shout out to MFG. That's a pro tip.
Everybody, one clap.
I'm gonna play when I wanna play. I'm gonna say what I wanna say. Do what I wanna do what I wanna do.
You know, I am human. I do have emotions like everybody else.